Midway's Complete bass player here, Tutar. I'm here with Hugo Hernandez from Thunderbird Hotel. And I'm about to ask him some questions about the show on New Year's Eve. Yeah.
All right.
So what are your thoughts on the other bands that are going to be playing on that show?
Yeah, so that lineup is stacked. So we got you guys, man, which we're, can I curse? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck. No, I'm just kidding. So, no, we have you guys, man, which I'm stoked to see you guys play again. I've seen you guys already perform a couple times, and I'm really stoked to have you guys playing. So that's going to be awesome. And then we have our friends from the Scud out of Holcomb, Garden City area. I've known those guys since I was like 18, man. I've known those guys for a long time. I'm 33 now, so those guys have been part of the music scene for quite some time. So if you're into that very grungy punk metal, just these guys do it all, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're in for a treat. So yeah, I mean, you go from what you guys have, this very heavy hard rock but also metal vibe, into what these guys have, which is all over the place. And then you have Thunderbird Hotel, which just kind of changes the vibe. With our band, we're very alternative rock and roll kind of type, music, with a little bit of, hints of other types of music, but you really get the sense of just that rock and roll, very soul vocal style, and then, the reason we're kind of doing this is because our friends in Villain to You are reuniting. And if you've never seen those guys, I mean, man, these guys play some amazing groovy metal. I mean, they'll just have you headbanging and in the pit the whole time they're performing. And so they're reuniting for a night and, and for a great cause. So that's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, so now, I want to talk about you as a person. It's what got you into music in the first place?
I mean, man, I grew up with music. Like, on my side of the family, a lot of them are musicians, so I was always around music. I think my biggest inspiration as far as me getting into that world of saying I want to pick up a guitar and learn how to play it and actually do it. It was man, right when YouTube was a thing around 2005, I just remember discovering I was already into rock music, and that's my favorite genre of music. But I had, discovered the band Coheed and Cambria, through TV and stuff. And I just happened to find this video. I just typed in their their band name, and I found this live video of this song that they do called The Final Cut. And there's just something about that entire song that blew my mind, what they were doing on the guitars. Mm-hmm. And so that right there was okay, I want to do that. I want to pick up the guitar and do that shit right there. So I would say that was the spark of it. And, and then just from there, man, it just became a thing of learning on my own. I never took lessons or anything like that. I mean, I did a guitar class in middle school, but by that time I was already kind of not to toot my own horn, but by that time I already knew more than what they were already kind of trying to teach in the class. So really, but it was all by ear though. I don't know music theory, I couldn't, if you try to tell me to read notes on a staff, I couldn't tell you what they are, but it's all by ear. So, and watching YouTube videos, watching what they do with their hands and following those patterns and stuff. So yeah, that's all, we're all not starting a band and actually doing the thing, I mean, I always had that inspiration, because I went to concerts since I was a kid, and that was really cool. But now that I actually picked up the instrument, I was okay, now I'm doing something. I want to do this with other people and see what we can come up with. So, but yeah, it's been fun. I've been playing in bands since I was 17 years old. So I'm 33, like I said. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so what are some differences and similarities you see between some of the older bands that you play with, and some of the younger bands like us, or another band that you may see?
Oh man, well, man, it's not that different, man. Quite honestly, it really is. I mean, you guys are listening. I get to be around you guys and talk with you guys and talk a little bit about your influences. I mean, dude, you guys are listening to some of the same music I listened to when I was growing up, and there's some newer bands that you're probably listening to that maybe I haven't heard of, but still, there's still that similarity in listening to those bands that we grew up with, Yeah. And dude, here's the thing, man. I'm still finding old music from the 60s and 70s that I've never heard of, and listening to it now, and and I'm sure you guys do that too. Like you'll dive into like, oh man, maybe I like the Doors or I like the Who, and here in a couple years, maybe you don't like them now or you never heard of them now, but maybe later on down the road you'll discover the same bands that we've been discovering. So, but as far as like the comparison and what's happening with like maybe some of us, like, cause I'm in the middle, right? I'm 30, I'm in my 30s, but like there's bands, you guys saw the band like the Oddballs, like some of those guys, they look like they're in like their 40s and 50s and still doing their thing, but like those guys are playing punk rock, Like, you wouldn't think someone that age is playing punk rock, but they do, man, because punk rock's been around for a long time. So, but the fact that that young people like you and like your bandmates and stuff are like still listening to that music, that blows my mind, because like for us for a while there, like especially for me and maybe my age group, I was like, man, are we the last ones to like keep this shit going, like as far as like a local music scene goes? And no, man, I mean, it's cool to see that people are still wanting to start bands. So yeah.
So you said that Coheed and Cambria was one of your favorite bands, or like an inspiration to you. Like, what are some other bands that like inspire you and like inspire the music that you write?
Yeah, so just to let you know, Coheed and Cambria is my favorite band. That is my number one favorite band. And really, I mean, man, I listen to everything, but like a lot of what those guys were doing at that time when I was listening to them is very progressive. So it's just very prog rock. I mean, those guys have elements of other things. It's weird because they're a really weird band. I think the reason why I like those guys a lot is because those guys took like my nerdy side of what I love, like superheroes and sci-fi, and connected it with music and made it sound really cool. Like that's why I like those guys a lot. But that being said, man, like one of my favorite like guitar like as a guitar player, Jimi Hendrix is like one of my biggest influences as a guitar player. And even though I cannot play anything like this guy, Buckethead is a huge one too. I love Buckethead. So like listening to these guitar players always kind of like inspired me to get better. I never got as good as Buckethead, or I'm not even near there. But you take those little bits and pieces from that inspiration, that I get from those guys. But as far as bands go, I mean, man, I listen to everything, dude. I mean, one of my favorite bands is like, and I mean, I'm pretty mainstream when it comes to a lot of my favorites, but there's a lot of like underground stuff that maybe some people haven't heard of that, they'd be like, what the hell is that? But like Slipknot, Stone Sour, like those are some of my favorite bands. I was a big fan of like old school Papa Roach. Like I was really much into that hard rock kind of stuff and metal. But